Hey, welcome back, students. This video here is going to be a introductory video just to kind of generally explain the concept of how we predict the products. Now, keep in mind that there were 5 general chemical reactions that we looked at before. We looked at one being a synthesis reaction, and in this particular reaction, we identified that the synthesis was going to be classified by some compound or substance, or not really a compound, but a element A reacting with an element B, and that formed AB. Okay, there was another type of reaction that we learned at is the reverse of this would be if you had a decomposition or a breakup of the original compound, and that would be when you went from AB, the compound AB, and it got broken up into the various parts again, A and B. And then there was also the third type of reaction, which was a single replacement. And the single replacement dealt with having one compound being replaced by a third. So let me go ahead and put this. So you had a compound AB, and this one was going to be influenced or infiltrated by, say, a second entity. And this was going to lead to a reunion or a shuffling of the compound at the end. So you would have CB plus A. And so what you had here was you had A being replaced by C, and that's why we called it a single replacement. Okay. And then the last type of reaction was a double replacement. And the double replacement involved a very similar thing. Here you had AB, and so let's go ahead and maybe do this. AB, and this was going to be combined by C and let's just, I don't know, maybe in different color here, D. And what's going to wind up happening here is you get the shuffling going on. So you have A combining with D. And then the other item that you wind up getting is you wind up getting C combining with B. And so what you wind up seeing here is that in this example here, A was replaced, C was replaced by A, and then the remaining ones, the cation C was replaced by B. Now, the one thing that I did take some time to explain in all of these here is that when you look at these compounds here, or these types of reactions, keep in mind that whenever you have the compounds such as here, 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 there, and in the double replacement, you're going to find that, and you've got to recognize that the first atom is always going to be positive, the second atom is negative, and that's true all the way across. So let me go ahead and identify them all here. And so when you do this and apply the charges, you definitely see that the designation is really there. So these types of reactions then is what we're going to use as a basis for predicting. Okay, and so you got to make sure that you kind of look at this and use it so that we can make good, proper predictions. And so let me go ahead and minimize this for us just a little bit. Let me put this over here. Let me take this out of the way. We don't need this section here. But we want to put these reactions and put them over here so that we can refer to them here in a little bit. All right, so what we want to do then is continue this discussion about, okay, well, what does this mean? How do we predict? Well, the way we predict is if we have some compound, notice the compound here, let's say that we have an A and then we have a B, but let's be a little bit more specific. Let's actually put something in here. And so let's give you something like NaCl. And if you want to go ahead and make the box here, you can definitely do that. Notice the first part's positive and the negative. And let's say that this actually combines with another compound. Let's say that it combines with, oh, let's just think of something here. Let's say it combines with no, let's call this lithium, and then we'll go to hydroxide, okay? And then we'll make the next box over here, then positive and negative. And so we're asking ourselves, what do we get over here on this other side, okay? And so what we're going to wind up getting here is a realignment of the compound, because what's going to happen here is that the sodium is actually going to break up into Na plus ion, and then the chlorine is going to break up into negative Cl minus, and then on this side, you're going to want to keep seeing lithium plus, and then the hydroxide is going to be an OH minus. And so what's going to happen is that the positive cations, we need to look at activity series, and so that's one thing you got to look at. We already know that lithium is actually at the top of the series, so all you need to do is look at the activity series and find lithium. You notice it's going to be at the very top, which means here that lithium is actually greater than sodium, so it will replace sodium. So it will come in here and it'll kick the sodium out, and it'll actually make a union with the chlorine. And so the prediction here is positive combines with a negative, and so in this case you're going to have lithium chloride, and then the other compound that you're going to get is the remaining one. And so the remaining one here is going to be the remaining positive ion, and it will come in and combine with the remaining hydroxide. And so that's what you'll get over here, in which case it'll be NaOH. Okay? So this is the general prediction. The next thing to do is go ahead and transfer charges. If you look on the periodic table of ions, you'll notice this is +1, -1, +1, -1. And what we're looking for here in products is we want neutral compounds. +1, -1 actually gives me a total charge of 0, so this is actually neutral for the lithium chloride. And over here, +1, -1, this also equals 0. And so this compound here is also neutral. And that's really what we want. And so once we know that this is neutral, then we're all good to go. We don't have to worry about it, but that is the actual prediction. There's some more steps here involved, and the next step is to actually balance it out. But in terms of predicting the products, this is actually it right here. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and come and see me during tutorial, but keep watching, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next video.